My fellow Akwa Ibomites, 6 years ago, under the inviting ambience of the clear skies of our beautiful city of Uyo, and enveloped in love and gratitude to God, and to you, my dear people, I took the oath of office to serve you to the best of my ability. I recall that shortly after I was sworn in, the first major act I performed was to go down on my knees and make supplications to the Lord. As I prayed for the sanctification of the land and asked for God to show us his mercies, to heal our land and restore unto us the joy of his salvation. I told him we were in a hurry to industrialize our land and change the narratives of development and growth from being a purely civil service state to an industrialized entity. I beseech God Almighty to deepen our cords of unity and love, to keep the Akwa Ibom spirit alive and make it soar to greater heights. Because this land belongs to him, and whatever and whoever belongs to the Lord will and cannot suffer attrition. Today, 6 years later, despite the challenges we have faced in the course of governance, 2 major recessions, a dip in oil prices, and a pandemic of historic proportions, I make bold to say that across sectors and all layers of the developmental paradigm, we have done exceedingly well. God has been faithful, and to him alone we give thanks. As I speak about our scorecard, let me again use this moment to make a few remarks about an issue that seems to have driven everyone in this state to a near frenzy: the issue of my successor. In the last 6 years, our state has become the fountain of peace and sustainable development. Today, the colors of Akwa Ibom State adorn the Nigerian aviation space with Ibom Air. Today, one of the most sturdy and intelligent buildings on this side of the Atlantic, the 21-story building, the Dakada Tower, stands as a testament to our increasing profile as a fast industrializing state. As I speak, we have attracted over 20 industries with enduring economic benefits alongside other legacy projects to this state. We attracted all these industries at a time foreign direct investment have been difficult to attract, which means we are doing the right things here. We have imbued in our youth the spirit of entrepreneurship and the need to positively dream and dare, necessitated by our Dakada philosophy. We have tackled our healthcare delivery services and shown that when funds are strategically utilized, great results can be achieved. Our people today consume the staple food items we produce here. We have declared an emergency on our education sector and are poised to shape the leaders of tomorrow with the necessary skill set to compete in the marketplace of ideas needed to succeed in the 21st century globalized world. Throughout the state, economically viable road networks are being constructed. A lot have already been commissioned, and more will be commissioned in the months ahead. Our investments in social infrastructure, women empowerment, trainings, and the deepening of the fountains of knowledge and skills of our workforce remain sacrosanct. The tone and tenor of governance has changed from an all-knowing and hectoring potentate to one based on humility, in strength and Christ-centric disposition, in execution and direction. Let me now ask you, my dear Akwa Ibomite, do you want a successor who will counsel all that the great strides in industrialization we have started, the peace we currently enjoy, and return us to the years when violence and kidnapping reigned and soured fear in the hearts and minds of our people? Do you want a successor who will come with anger towards all we have done, as opposed to continue with the great works we have started? Do you want a leader whose approach to testing his popularity will be to drive in a long convoy to Ibom Plaza and throw money at the hapless people and watch them scramble for the money? And the people will say, oh, that's an Orwombo. Is that the kind of successor you want? Is that the kind of empowerment our people deserve? Someone who will bring out the worst in our youths rather than challenge them to seize the future and unleash their potentials. Do you want a successor who will relegate God to the background and assume an all-knowing power? Or do you desire a successor with a known email address that the international business community recognizes? Do you want a leader who will fritter away all commonwealth in search of cheap popularity, or one would utilize the resources and continue investing in projects with enduring value? Do you want a successor who would see government as a cabal where our commonwealth will be shared among a privileged few? Or do you desire a leader who would continue to unleash the entrepreneurial spirit of our people? A successor who understands the economic dynamics that shape our globalized space and would utilize those skills to advance our well-being? These are questions you have to provide answers, and the answers you provide will determine the type of a successor you deserve. But let me state here that the Old Testament in Isaiah 43:16 aptly captures what we started in May 2015 and the direction of where we should be heading. Using the New Living Translation, it says, "Behold, I'm about to do something new. See, I've already begun. Do you not see it? I'll make a pathway through the wilderness. I'll create a river in the dry wasteland." Fellow Akwa Ibomite, God has started doing a new thing in our state. He has already made a pathway through the wilderness and has already created rivers in the dry land. And mark my words, we will not return to the type of leadership that is big on noise and small in execution of the big picture items. We'll never go backward on the peace in our land, the steady and focused developments we have started. The line in our state anthem has made this faith manifestly clear. Forward ever, backward never. So, my Akwa Ibomite, if what you are desiring is a successor who will not have the capacity and the discipline to build a state where you and your children will live in peace and strive to excel, if you are desiring a successor who will turn back the clock of our developmental strides, if you are desiring a successor who will bring out the worst in our youths as opposed to galvanizing their energies and challenging them to be the best they can be, if you are desiring a leader who would not efficiently utilize the resources of this state on projects that have redeeming value, then I'm sorry to disappoint you. God, I say God, will not give us such a successor. We have gone too far ahead to retreat backward. So as we are engaging in prognostications, creating camps of loyalty, and getting consumed by who you think my successor will be, always bear these thoughts in your mind. God is doing great things in our state, and that invisible hand will continue to steer the ship of this state and will not bring anyone who will negate our gains. I do not intend to use this speech to reel off our scorecard, as doing so would take hundreds of pages to distill and collect. But let me repeat the title of this speech: God is doing a new thing in Akwa Ibom State. And here's why. Recently, a journalist asked me how I would score the 5-point agenda, which was the governing philosophy of our first term in office. I recall telling the journalist that without sounding boastful, that I would score us 85%, given the challenging economic conditions that greeted us in 2015 when we first came in. In the critical areas of agriculture, we have kept our promise to ensure that we produce enough food at affordable prices to feed our people. You recall that one of the first tasks I performed was the inauguration of the Technical Committee on Agriculture and Food Sufficiency. My desire in doing so was predicated on my long-held belief that a society that cannot feed its people loses the crucial bond of social contract. Today, our investments in agriculture have borne incredible fruits. Our staple food items, such as gari, rice, yam, etc., are produced mostly by our people here. From the rice mill in Ini, local government area, to the numerous gari processing mills scattered all over the 3 senatorial districts, to our low-interest loans given to farmers to the cassava plantation through the Fadama 3 scheme, we are working to ensure that our people have enough food to eat at quite affordable prices. Our investments in this critical sector goes beyond making food available for all. We are also leveraging on our comparative advantage in agriculture through the establishment of a fully functional Directorate of Agric and Agro-Life Investment. Our passionate dedication to this sector came in handy during the lockdown last year, occasioned by COVID-19 pandemic, when our food reserves were given to our people as palliatives. Imagine where we would have been if we were not proactive, especially when movements were restricted nationwide. Before now, most people thought we couldn't produce such essential items as tomatoes or onions. But today, most of the tomatoes and onions we consume are produced here. Our investment in greenhouses technology has made this possible. Again, re-emphasizing the point that once there is a will, there must be a way. In healthcare delivery services, I make bold to say unequivocally that we have done extremely well. When we came in, most of the general hospitals were derelict, and recall with horror when one of my aides told me of an inspection he made at the general hospital and was told that patients and hospital staff were battling snakes and other reptiles every day. Today, because of our belief that a healthy population is a good measurement range of a working government, we have refurbished, remodeled, and equipped with the most modern amenities, the general hospitals in all the 10 federal constituencies. The ones in Ikorobasi and Ikorobasi respectively are scheduled to be commissioned soon. From Itina General Hospital to the one in Ikwita, Oron, to Ikorokoro, to Itumbam, to Awa, to Emmanuel Hospital, these general hospitals today can compete favorably and be compared with any such facility anywhere in the world. We have equally equipped the specialty hospital with most modern medical facilities, complete with an ICU, and this huge investment came in handy during the challenging months in the COVID-19 pandemic, as the highly trained medical professionals performed exceedingly well to stem the spread of deadly virus. We had also in the course of the pandemic performed what has been generally described as the miracle of Itumba, when we constructed and commissioned a record time 300-bed infectious disease control center, equipped with one of the best PCR laboratories in this country, and an 18-bed ICU and HDU centers. Later today, I will commission the medical gas and vacuum plant with the capacity to supply 1,000 beds with oxygen and perform suction functions for 1,000 patients at the same time. This facility, I must add, is the largest in size in the nation as of today. A few days ago, we performed a groundbreaking ceremony for the construction of Akwa Ibom State University Teaching Hospital in collaboration with ASR, a Goa group of companies affiliate. Our medical professionals are scheduled to regular trainings to bring them at par with modern approaches in healthcare management system. Concerning education, we have taken a hard look at this important sector and are convinced that a lot must be done to prepare our children for the 21st century marketplace of ideas and stiff competition. Decided to rejig our curriculum and align it with more science and technology, which are the pathways for the future. Seizing on the recommendations of the first ever Education Summit we held in 2020, and the recommendations of the Education Think Tank, headed by one of our nationally and internationally celebrated sons, Professor Hilary Yam, we have rightfully declared an emergency on our education sector. As you may have seen, we have deployed huge resources to this sector. Brand new school blocks with the most modern science and laboratories equipment have been commissioned through the Interministerial Direct Labor Coordinating Committee. In the last 3 weeks, we have commissioned these facilities across the 3 senatorial districts. We're in the process of completing the recruitment exercise for 1,000 new teachers and around 1,000 through SUBEP, bringing 2,000 on board. The new teachers we are adding to the system. Above all, I have directed that majority of the youth corps members posted to this state be made to teach in our schools. We are constantly training and retraining our teachers so they will be up to par with the modern teaching tools available. I've always said that I'm a product of public education, and the foundations they provided helped push me to seeking greater heights in my career and further intellectual and professional development at some Ivy League colleges scattered all over the world. And therefore, I will not rest until our children are exposed to such opportunities. We are doing all we can to ensure that our children study and acquire knowledge in the best possible environment we can provide. The central focus of our initial 5-point agenda, which we have now condensed into 8-point completion agenda, was rapid industrialization and changed our narrative as a pure civil service-oriented state to an industrializing one with robust manufacturing base. I think, again, without sounding boastful, we have delivered huge gains in this area. Through the contacts we had established in our prior careers in the private sector, both local and international, and through the highly commendable efforts of the technical committees that we have, which had set up shortly after I was sworn in 2015, we have attracted to this state over 20 economically viable and employment-generating industries. Today, our state boasts of the largest syringes manufacturing company in our subcontinent. We no longer import in wholesale fashion from China the syringes used in our hospitals. In fact, most of the hospitals in Nigeria now use the syringes made from Akwa Ibom state. To me, and all of us, this is gladdening and a total break from the past. Early last week, I went on an inspection of our coconut virgin oil refinery, and I recall being asked by a prominent national journalist how I was able to conceptualize such a huge project. I told him ideas and careful planning today rules the world. The coconut refinery, which is almost at the final stages of completion, will provide over 1,300 instant jobs for our youths and another 1,500 at coconut plantation and the associated value chains. God is indeed doing new things in this state. Today, our state boasts of the first digitalized flour mill, which produces the flour that we need for our confectioneries industry. Several hundreds of our youths, too, have been employed along with other ancillary gains. The meters that electricity consumers use in accurately billing their consumption of electricity is also produced in our state, and several hundreds of jobs have also been created. Same with the plywood manufacturing company. Last week, we had signed the MOU for the commencement of the Liberty Oil and Gas Free Zone, having previously received all the approvals from the federal government. Once this project comes on stream, thousands of our people will be gainfully employed. You will recall that the Federal Executive Council, under the leadership of our President, Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR, had finally given approvals for the commencement of work on our long-desired Ibom Deep Sea Port project. We thank God that it was under this administration that this huge project of deep economic benefit will be realized. This project will generate hundreds of thousands of jobs for our people and other wealth-creating opportunities. The groundbreaking ceremony for the construction of Sterling Petrochemicals and Fertilizer Production Factory was performed a few days ago in East Nobolo. Again, this is another huge employment-generating project we have attracted to our state. Early this year, we attracted one of the most significant foreign investments yet, the $1.4 billion United States dollars ammonia and fertilizer plant, and subsequently signed an MOU with our Moroccan counterparts. The groundbreaking ceremony of this huge project will be performed soon by Mr. President. This gigantic project will again provide thousands of jobs for our people. We have several industrial clusters which produce such items as pencil, toothpick, plastics, tissue papers, etc. We have the rice mill in the local government area and several cassava processing mills. The narrative is changing and God is doing new things in our state. Early in the life of this administration, I gathered some stakeholders in aviation industry and revealed to them my plans to establish a thriving airline. We went to work quietly, and once I made our plans public, the usual naysayers said the project couldn't be done. That if countries in Africa could not set up an airline, how then could we, a state, achieve such a feat? We ignored their pessimism and went to work. Today, Ibom Air has become a national sensation. The colors of Akwa Ibom State now dominate the Nigerian aviation space. We were recently named the best airline in the nation. We started with 3 CRJ 900 series, later added 2 more CRJs, bringing the total aircraft in this fleet to 5. The next few days, we will commission 2 newly acquired brand new Airbuses, A220-300 series, bringing the total fleet of our aircraft to 7. We are not just concentrating only on Ibom Air. Ours is a total dedication to aviation development. Our international terminal building, once completed, will be the best in the continent. And you can quote me on this. It would also be the smartest. Our MRO, that is maintenance, repair, and overhaul hangar, is ongoing. The pace of work only got slowed down due to the restrictions placed on international travels due to COVID-19 pandemic. Our taxiway, the new Category 2 runway, these are huge investments that prime our state as an emerging industrial hub. Fellow Akwa Ibomites, this huge achievement in aviation should gladden the hearts of everyone, irrespective of one's political affiliations. Ibom Air carries the collective pride of Akwa Ibom people, and we should all celebrate it. God is indeed doing great things here. One of the pillars of our industrialization drive has been the need to consolidate and expand our hard infrastructure. As you have seen and experienced, we have constructed and commissioned hundreds of kilometers of economically viable roads spread across the entire state. There is no single local government area in this state that this administration have not touched in terms of development. These roads are all there for everyone to see. So I do not need to name them one after the other. But it bears repeating that Uyo Ikorekbene dualized thoroughfare we inherited at less than 3 kilometers of execution is about to be commissioned. The Ring Road 3, which is almost near completion, stands as a testament to great vision in urban planning. The multi-lane airport road is ongoing. Same with Uyo Itinan Road up to Atlantic Ocean. The first time, we will be driving on a dualized thoroughfare from Uyo Metropolis straight into the ExxonMobil facilities in the Atlantic Ocean. In the lead-up to our anniversary, I've commissioned several roads across the state and other internal roads in Uyo, Oban, and Oran, respectively. The Ikoroku-Ikono flyover bridge, the longest in the South-South, is ongoing and will be commissioned very, very soon. The IBB outfalls drainage is ongoing. The Nsika erosion control has helped deflood that part of our state, which was perennially flooded, as so much money has been sunk into the project. We have done several kilometers of internal roads in Oron, most of which were commissioned early this week. Eket and Ikorekbene, etc. Our vision is to develop all parts of the state and open it up for commerce and industry. Therefore, fellow Akwa Ibomites, when the perennial cynics and social media blackmailers tell you we have not done any infrastructure, tell them that God is indeed doing great things in Akwa Ibom State. We have spent huge resources in the power sector. We have upgraded and rebuilt such injection substations as the one in 4 lanes Uyo, Afarobe, Ekem, in Bareni, and the one in Ikorekbene. We have created several dedicated lines, which has helped in our drive to industrialize the state. Our vision of power for all by December 31st, 2021 remains an abiding article of faith. Our residents can testify that we have enjoyed constant electricity supply across the state, and this has significantly helped with the quality of life we have enjoyed, especially in the hinterlands. Sports development is a critical element of our completion agenda. Today, our state boasts of 2 teams in the National Soccer Premier League. The ultra-modern Eket Stadium will soon be commissioned. We are encouraging our youth to see sports as an avenue to express their talents and derive the corresponding benefits. This is one of the issues we are tackling holistically in our educational curriculum. They need to identify those who are uniquely shaped for great exploit in sports and to make available for their use the necessary facilities and support we can muster. Akwa Ibom today is a destination of choice for numerous national seminars and conferences. That's why we are nationally known as Nigeria's best kept secret. You only have to look at the developments in tourism, the number of people who have not only visited us, but have decided to come, live, and invest. Even those who are constructing the latest international market in Eket are of other foreign nationals partnering with the state government. Look at the numerous smart buildings popping up all over the state. Look at estates that are expanding. And look at the quality of homes that are springing up. And then you will know that God is indeed doing great things. Hotels all over the state, especially in Uyo, enjoying an almost 100% capacity rate, almost on a daily basis. Our cuisines remain the pride of this nation. Our flagship hotel, the Ibom Icon Hotels and Golf Resorts, formerly known as 5-Star, the Sheraton by 4 Points in Ikorekbene, which was a mere building without the corresponding features of a fully functional hotel, in line with the standards of the Starwood Group, today has been raised to its proper standards. God, indeed, is doing great things here and is forward ever, backward never. Let me use this opportunity to celebrate and thank our youths for tapping into our call, for them to rise to the faith of their greatness and utilize their God-given abilities to create wealth for themselves. The Dakada philosophy has been welcomed and accepted by our youths across the state and even across the nation, and in fact, embraced internationally. Let me commend and appreciate the tremendous impact my wife's, Her Excellency Dr. Mrs. Udom Emmanuel PET project, the Family Empowerment and Youth Reorientation Path Initiative, FEREP, is doing, has created for the family unit across the state in the past 6 years. These include, but not limited to, women empowerment statewide, economic assistance to widows via the provision of trade grants, the championing of the rights of the girl child and her dignity, the fight against gender-based crimes such as rapes and genital mutilation, the numerous enlightenment and sensitization campaigns on such easily preventable diseases such as high blood pressure, diabetes, and other diseases associated with lifestyle. Let me especially thank our security agencies for being great and dependable partners in our determined efforts to make this state an oasis of peace and development. Finally, let me appeal to our leaders to continue to let peace and love shape and distill their hearts. Let us live as brothers and sisters and not to allow politics divide us. Akwa Ibom State is all we have, and we must do all we can to deepen and cement the bonds of our unity and brotherhood. I hereby reiterate my unflinching commitment to utilizing the remaining 2 years of my God-given mandate to solidify the foundation of a new Akwa Ibom, politically, industrially, and socioeconomically, with our unwavering faith in God to actualize what he began in 2015 and his promise to continually do a new thing in our dear state. I therefore implore you, my dear brothers and sisters, to please join hands with me to sustain and deepen all that God Almighty has used me this far to achieve for our dear state. For me, it is forward ever, backward never. Under God Almighty. God bless you all. Akwa Ibom, Edakaida, Ami, Medakanda.